Alive on the moon, Jaro, it's on the pen alive, with your host David Knapp.
Thank you, Clap Track, and happy Thursday night. I'm your host, Dave Knapp, man on the Mounjaro. That's why I'm here. You are on the pen. Wegovy, Saxenda, Victoza, Trulicity, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Compound. That pen is what we talk about now for 109 episodes, and you are here on a very special episode of On the Pen Live. Oh, super chat's already flowing. Thank you, Sandra, for the $19.99 super chat. Very kind of you. This is the final episode, the 109th, in fact, episode of On the Pen Live. Oh, the camper fund. Thank you. Yeah, we're in the process of trying to get a camper. We only need to raise about $25,000 to make that happen. But thank you. That every little bit helps. So thank you, Sandra. But yeah, the 109th episode, we've got some really special stuff baked into the show tonight, especially if you've been around here for a long time. You are going to see some inside the Knapp household stuff that you've never seen before, including some cameos from my children tonight. We are going to watch together the health.com video that features myself and my family and my story because you guys made that happen. So thank you so much for being here on this special episode. Because it's a special episode, our final episode of On the Pen Live. Now we are not going anywhere. It's just this Thursday night show. We're going to do it a little bit differently. Our order, we're going to actually have our interview first, so that we can kind of have some quality time at the end of the live stream together. And so we're excited to welcome our guest tonight here in just a few moments, Elizabeth Holder of Body Insured Consulting. Now, she has a huge passion for helping people to navigate the insurance side and the process of cosmetic surgery. And for this community specifically, skin removal surgery is a big one. And so many of you hitting maintenance, that I thought was a very fitting topic to end this 109 episode string of shows with. So I can't wait to bring that interview to you. Wayne with the $10 super chat, what we're going camping where, a lot. So we'll continue to do live streams, continue to have them, but they will be a lot of them from the camper this year. So we're going to do a lot of camper lives. So the lives will still happen. It's just the show. Cloakster with a 49. Thank you, Cloakster. That's very generous. Cloakster, of course, a longtime follower of this channel. Donna with a $99.99 super chat. Donna, I was really hoping to see you here tonight. Thank you for being here. I just have a little something that I kind of wrote out for tonight, so I'm just going to kind of bring that to you here. Just some thoughts that I had. You know, when we started On the Pen Live, I didn't know exactly what it would become, and neither did all of you. I just knew that there were stories that needed to be told. I knew that there were conversations that we needed to be having, and I knew that there was a whole lot of people out there like me who felt like they were on this journey alone by themselves. And technically it was Friday night, turned into 2, then we moved it to Thursday, and there were 20 of them, and then 50 of them, and now 108 episodes. And this is our 109th. So 109 episodes. It's 109 nights of showing up. 109 times we carved out space in our chaotic worlds to slow down, to sit together, and to say, you matter. Your story matters, and you're not alone. But what you didn't see was what it took to make all that happen. The kids who needed tucked in, the dinners that went cold, the exhaustion. And some of you obviously saw this at different times. The exhaustion that I carried on nights when I wasn't sure that I had anything left to give. And I wasn't the only one that was sacrificing. So many of you showed up too, week after week, giving your Thursday nights to On the Pen Live in your joy, in your pain, in your questions, in your breakthroughs. This was never just a show. This has been a gathering place for people in the middle of a very serious fight for better health. And I also could not have done this thing alone. I want to say a special thank you to Corey for the maintenance minutes, to Allie for the Reddit recaps, to the OGs, to Cousin Chrissy, to BJ Davis, to Michelle Hess, to Melissa H., to Donna NP, to Sue the Dude, to Cloakster, to Clark Kent, to so stinking many of you, some of the earliest voices who believed in On the Pen before we even had a name for it, before it had any momentum, before anyone knew what we were building. You helped me build this. You helped me carry this. You helped me shape it. And I'm so eternally grateful to all of you. So tonight hurts a little bit because it's the end of something beautiful, but the good thing is it isn't goodbye. This isn't the end of On the Pen. This is just the end of an era, end of the On the Pen Thursday Night Lives. But it is definitely not goodbye. The podcast will keep going. The website will keep going. The emails will keep flowing. The Facebook group, this YouTube channel, the podcast, the TikToks, everything. The only thing that's changing is the Thursday Night Live show. And that change, while it is hard, it is full of purpose. It's going to give me the space and the capacity to go deeper, to bring better, more comprehensive interviews, clearer news, and more access that we've worked so hard to gain here at On the Pen. Where now we're really an industry insider, and the countless phone calls that I have every week are just, it's amazing what's happening, and we're going to be making some massive impact in 2025. So thank you. Thank you for making these 109 nights matter so much. Thank you for the laughs, the tears, the comments, the shares, the super chats, the silent support, the amens. Thank you for building this with me. We're going to keep fighting for access. We're going to keep telling the truth, and we're going to keep showing up, just maybe not every Thursday night at 9. I love you all, and I cannot wait for what is next for On the Pen, and we're going to do this together. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. So thank you all. Thank you all. And I've got some really great stuff prepared for you tonight. So for those of you who are in maintenance, there's some really good stuff here that we're going to bring you with this interview. For the final time that we're going to roll this bumper, and we're going to bring in tonight's hot channel. This is Elizabeth Holder, who's here to talk about her journey and her company, Body Insured Consulting. Welcome in tonight's hot channel.
Hot channel.
Elizabeth, welcome to On the Pen.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I'm so good. How are you?
Oh man, better than I deserve, and very grateful. Just a very obviously sort of retrospective night, just looking back on 109 Thursday nights of my life.
That intro was incredible. I was tearing up a little bit. It was
I'm fine. I'll probably fighting them back all night, but yeah, it's been definitely one of those days that it's just been very contemplative, and I've just been thankful for the space that we've been given to share here, and it's been an honor to share the platform with people who have stories to tell and help to offer. And yours is, I feel like, the perfect little cherry on top of the Sunday. It's because there's so many people in this community who have hit maintenance or are nearing maintenance, and they're looking at it and they're going, and I think this is the big thing, is that so many people who hit that maintenance part of their journey always viewed maintenance as this end of this linear journey, where really it's the beginning of the rest of your journey. And for many people, medically, they're going to have issues that are going to dictate that they're going to need skin removal surgery or other things done. For other people, it's just going to be a matter of where they want to be and what they want to see when they look in the mirror. And so all of these things are important to address. And so I'm eager to share the platform with you tonight, Elizabeth, and I want to hear just a little bit about your own personal journey and sort of what led you to become this advocate for helping people to navigate this process.
So I started off, it was in 2004. I had a breast reduction, and that was covered under insurance. Fast forward to, I want to say, well, it's been 20 years, but about 10 years ago, I actually had bariatric surgery. It it really, I lost 70 pounds and then I gained 80 of that back. I didn't realize that I had all of these issues. I had PCOS, I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I had POTS, and that was causing me issues to gain weight and hormonal imbalance. So I started at that time, they didn't really have any of the GLP-1 medications like they do now. So I started following a diet, exercise, and I lost over the course of 4 years about 120 pounds. But I was left with a lot of extra skin. And that caused me to have a lot of body dysmorphia. It was, my mental health was at stake. I had a lot of issues with bullying and body shaming and all of that stuff. And that kind of really kickstarted my journey. I started doing research, but unfortunately, the healthcare system is flawed and there's a lot of holes in the healthcare system. A lot of people don't realize that you can get this through your health insurance. And so I started doing research and kind of started really digging deeper and showing my journey. And with that, I realized that there's so many people out there that are needing this information. So I started my business.
Great. I love that. I love when, it's a very similar story to On the Pen, honestly. There's just, I was going through something. I was trying to learn everything that I could. And when I went to find the information I was looking for, I had to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And I just didn't want the next person to have to do that.
Yeah.
And so that really was part of why I started On the Pen too. And so it's funny how these needs arise, and you see people like yourself just sort of rising to the occasion and saying, if not me, who, and
Right.
so I love that story. So tell me a little bit about, well, let's talk about the specific journey to begin, so like if somebody is getting to the point where they're approaching maintenance and they realize that skin removal surgery is definitely something that they want to do, or at least want to explore. What are some of those first steps that you would encourage that person to take?
So what I do is I will go over your specific insurance policy guidelines
Mm,
step by step. So each individual has different insurance and a different plan from that insurance. So what I do is I go over that plan step by
mhm,
step with you to really understand what all is covered and what you can do to actually advocate for yourself, document, and everything. But it
mm,
really starts with your insurance. You have to find out if it's even covered or not first. And then once you do that, Then there's all of these steps. You have to find, you know, surgeons that are willing to, you know, go through your insurance. You have to find advocates that will kind of listen to you, because a lot of times, I know for me at least, I felt very unheard.
Mhm.
And, you know, no one was really listening to me. They would kind of slam the door on my face and say, you know, I'm sorry, this is cosmetic. And
Mhm.
it's like, but it's not. And so it's really hard to kind of find that advocate. And that's what I do, is
Mhm.
really go over everything with you, and kind of have that support, because I never had that support system. You know, I was really going through this myself, and it was really hard to go through something that you need support on and you don't get it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's I mean, I think it's kind of the next logical step when somebody starts at like a GLP-1 or they're going for bariatric surgery, sort of very similar starting process where you're trying to find what your insurance will cover. And then if they won't, working with your provider to find out if there's any loopholes or ways around that,
Yeah.
or whether there's step therapy. So it sounds like it's just kind of the next version of that, right? You're just exploring the insurance options and then talking with your doctor to find out what you need to do and document to get that stuff covered. So I'm sure that there's all some proven, tried and true ways that you've discovered to do those things and accomplish those things with people. So I think that's why it's super important to work with somebody
Yeah.
like you, is to just like cut through the noise, know, jump right in, know what's going to be expected of you, what's going to be expected of your doctor, to go ahead and get that stuff covered for by your insurance for surgery. What would you say? Would you say that most people do end up having some level of coverage for this, or is it 50-50, or kind of, because I think the general consensus for people is that it just isn't covered, right?
Yeah, I want to reiterate that there is hope out there. I have been doing this for about 3 years, and I've gotten over 5,000 clients approved through insurance with a
Wow.
99.8% success rate. There
Wow.
is hope out there.
That's an incredible, I just got to park on that for a second. That's an incredible statistic. Over
Oh,
5,000 people you've helped with a 99% track record of getting insurance to cover.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Amazing.
it's been incredible, and I have to thank, you know, my clients for that, because they're the ones who are doing the work. You know, I'm just kind of nudging them in the
You're kind
right
of their
direction.
guide, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I had a client the other day, and she got approved, and then she dropped her insurance and had to get new insurance. Well,
Mhm.
unfortunately, she resubmitted and got denied. And it's just, you know, we went through it and she got approved again. But it's not, you know, it's not just about, you know, getting it through insurance. It's more than that. It's the mental and emotional thing that you have to go through.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's really easy to go through this when you have a support system.
Absolutely. Don't go into this blind. I think that's such an encouraging statistic to hear, that so many people have been able to get covered for this, because I think what a lot of people don't understand, I think and I'm saying this as somebody who didn't understand it before it was explained to me by somebody who was in that point, is that for a lot of people, the skin removal isn't a cosmetic thing. It's a medically necessary thing because of issues that are caused by the excess skin. And I think that's where people have this misnomer that, well, it's just a cosmetic surgery, so insurance will never cover it. And it's like, well, actually, if it's causing medical issues, if these medical issues are documented, and if you cross your T's and dot your I's, and your doctor is doing what they need to do because they know that this is an important thing to you, then it sounds like it's pretty successful.
Yeah. I mean, and you just need to have the right person that knows. what they're doing. And
Yeah.
it's, and I always say it's a blessing and a curse to have empathy
Yeah.
because I've been through it. I understand, and I kind of put myself in their shoes to really fully grasp what they're going through. And
Yeah.
it's nice to have. And what a lot of people don't realize is that, when I was going through this, no one was talking about this. No one was really talking about the extra skin. And I had to deal with this all by myself. So what I did was kind of make something that I never had. And what you all do is support me as well, because I never had that. So it's a really great community
Mm.
to support one another when we're going through this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Community is such an important piece of every part of the journey, which is again why I felt this topic was such a natural way to end this show, which I see very much as being cyclical. Like the next thing that we do here at On the Pen will look a little bit different. But what I realized is like a lot of people that started this journey with me are they need different information and they need different community right now because what they're dealing with, like this is a big deal. Like I'm not sure if you know who Triplet Dad of TikTok is, Jamie. He's had skin removal surgery. One of the interesting things that he said, because he's been on the show a couple different times and he's lost a tremendous amount of weight, like 715 pounds down to I don't know what, he's lighter than I am now. And one of the things that he kind of said that sort of blew my mind was he's like, when I had bariatric surgery, I chose it. I chose it for myself. The skin removal stuff, I don't get to choose that. I have to have it. And the recovery time. So let's talk about that a little bit. So like one of the things that I think people aren't mentally prepared for when they look into this stuff is it is quite a taxing thing to have done to your body to have skin removal surgery. Can you talk just a little bit about like that process and mentally preparing for what you're going to go through?
Yes, I've had 6 of them. Um, so I understand, what it's like, what to go through, the process. I mean, it is a process. It is a long recovery. You have to mentally prepare yourself for this. And this is what I really try and do is prepare you not just physically, but mentally and emotionally for this. You are going to wake up, and a lot of times when you are not mentally prepared for it and mentally okay, what happens is that you will look at the part of your body that has already been fixed and be like, oh, this is really nice. And then you'll look at other parts of your body and depict every single little thing about yourself.
Mm,
And if you are not mentally prepared for this, this is what's going to happen. And it gets addicting.
mm,
So, these are the reasons why you really want to focus on your mental health beforehand. You're going to feel guilt because this is an elective surgery. So, you're putting yourself in that position. You're putting yourself through this. And then you're going to feel regret because, obviously, why did I do this? Why am I sitting here all up in bandages and, swollen for months? And, it's a lot. But you have to realize that why you are doing this in the first place. And that's what I really try and kind of teach and to kind of educate others.
yeah. Yeah. You just said something that struck me. You said swollen for months. Um, that I think when you as a generic term are preparing for something like skin removal surgery, there's a lot of research that needs to be done ahead of time to know what you need to be mentally prepared for. And it's been interesting. Another person that I follow that's actually been on this program before, Amy and Half. I don't know if you
Yep.
know who she is. Like she just had skin removal surgery and she's been very openly documenting it. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know suddenly if I want to lose the weight.
Yep.
Like that
Yep.
is intense.
It is intense. It definitely is, but it's so worth it in the
Mhm.
end. I mean, what I always say is, pain is only the recovery is only temporary. The results are forever.
Mm.
So you just have to go into that mindset thinking, okay, this is just temporary. This is only going to be for a little bit. And then, you can start the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think this is a great conversation to be having for somebody who is looking at the potential of skin removal surgery, and they want your help sort of navigating that. Where's the best place to start?
You can go to my website. It's bodyinsured.com, or you can follow me on social media at Body Insure Consulting.
So bodyinsured.com.
Yes.
Sorry, so throw that up on the screen real quick. Bodyinsured.com. Like that. So bodyinsured.com. And then I imagine that the website there is a gateway to your social medias. And
Yeah.
do you have any Facebook groups or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So all of that is on there.
yeah, great. So go to bodyinsured.com, and that's going to be sort of the gateway to everything that you're doing over there, and to the social medias as well. And like we were talking about earlier, one of the most important things I think is get in that community, talk to people who have been there, been through the process. That's so important on the GLP-1 journey. But as you progress to different you progress to maintenance, you got to find your maintenance people. You progress to skin removal surgery or cosmetic surgery, you need to find your cosmetic surgery people, and just get in there and learn from the people who have been there ahead of you. And so sounds like you're offering all that, which I think is just absolutely great. Elizabeth, thanks for taking some time with On the Pen tonight. I really appreciate you
Thank you
bringing your
so
message tonight. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
been a
so
pleasure to have you.
much.
Yeah,
It's
nice
been
to
an
meet you.
honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That's Elizabeth from bodyinsured.com. I hope you'll go check that out for those of you. I mean, if you are somebody who's looking at skin removal surgery, let me know in the comments. I just felt like this was a good one to sort of cap the 109 episodes off on, because this is a big one. This is a big one. Get informed, get educated, and then when you decide this is for you, jump on over to bodyinsured.com and make sure that you get the insurance part figured out the right way. So we thank Elizabeth for joining us tonight. That was a great conversation, and I think a wonderful interview to sort of round out On the Pen Live. Now, I told you that we were just going to do things a little bit backwards tonight. So the first thing I want to do is I want to introduce you to my family by way of, well, let's see. I want to introduce you to my family by way of the health.com article. Let's watch this thing together, because I think this was so well done, and it featured my entire family in it. This was a trip that we got to take to New York City, and it was so special. And the reason I want to share this with you all tonight, I realize I shared the link out when this first came out, but for me, this was the experience of a lifetime to watch my wide-eyed two oldest boys experience the city of New York together was about one of the most special moments of my life, as far as being a parent is concerned. And I never get to do that. I never ever get to do that without On the Pen Live and this community elevating On the Pen to where we are. I talked earlier about how On the Pen has earned a respected name, not only in the community, but in the industry, and the entire obesity medicine industry. On the Pen has earned a respected name. And so you guys helped to pave the way for what happened here with health.com. And so I just want to watch this together with you all tonight.
And I do have to just take a moment to get Dave wired here.
I'm Dave Knapp. I am 39 years old, and I'm from Cedar Falls, Iowa. I've spent years losing 25 to 30 pounds, gaining back 40. And after a period of time, I ended up finding myself at 319 pounds when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. People experience the stigma around obesity in many different ways. I experienced some of the normal school bullying, some of that stuff that kind of happened. As you're an older adult, you start to just feel it in different ways, right? Even people that mean well can make statements about your weight or your appearance that can really stick with you for a long, long time. A lot of times those comments come from the people you love the most, and they're really coming from a sincere and a good place. But honestly, those are the ones that stick with you the most. In early 2021, I had been recovering from a couple bouts of COVID. And I just remember telling my wife multiple times, it's not normal how I feel. I feel like I have like a narcolepsy level amount of sleepiness in the afternoon. And I just knew it wasn't normal. That's really what pushed me to go see the doctor. I had never had bad A1C numbers. I never had really any warning. So when I went in there and had blood work done and my doctor came in the room and he said, "You're feeling this way because you're diabetic," I was honestly stunned. Of course, I'm overweight. Of course, it runs in the family. But at 37 years old, you're not thinking in terms of a diabetes diagnosis. I found this really cool tool. It is a keto breathalyzer. This, you just simply blow into it and it gives you a number ranking that tells you how much fat your body is burning. My doctor said, well, what you have to do is you have to eat keto. Part of my diet roller coaster was this keto roller coaster that I had lived on for almost 20 years of my adult life. I would lose 15, 20 pounds and I would gain back 25, 30 pounds. So for that first year after the diagnosis, I white knuckled through the keto diet. It really helped with the fatigue. It got my A1C down into actual normal ranges, which was amazing. The problem for me at that point was I had only lost 7 of those 319 pounds in a full year of keto. Scale certainly doesn't mean everything. It's a metric. But when you're working that hard, it is super defeating to not see the kind of success that you're looking for after a year. In the fall of 2023, exactly 1 year later, my doctor said, "Dave, you're a candidate for bariatric surgery." I was open to anything. I was open to whatever was going to help me live longer for my family. The problem was I didn't have insurance coverage for bariatric surgery. So the interesting thing that he said to me at that time is there's this new kind of medicine and it's actually accomplishing from a hormonal level what bariatric surgery does. I always understood bariatric surgery to help people lose weight by way of just making them eat less food. Actually, what happens is there's a rebalancing of all these hormones that are associated with hunger and satiety and feelings of fullness. They found a way with medicine to accomplish hormonally what they're accomplishing with bariatric surgery. That day, I left the doctor's office with a prescription for a GLP-1 medication, and I took my first injection. Within 24 hours, I had immediately noticed that all of this noise in my head about what are you going to eat? When are you going to eat? What are you going to eat next? Were gone. And within about 3 months, I had dropped 30 pounds, which was, about 11% of the body weight that I started with. The weight was literally coming off. I just was never hungry and almost had to force myself at times to make sure I was getting good nutrient intake throughout the day. Now, one of the interesting things about my journey, and I think this has been a challenge for many people, the dose escalation process of these medications is pretty specific if you're following the clinical trials. I couldn't always get the next dose that I needed, so I actually had to skip doses. So within just a few months, I was all the way to the top dose of 15 milligrams and really maxed out pretty quick from a weight loss perspective. So that's been sort of a frustrating part of my journey, especially because there are so many people that see a tremendous amount of weight loss, even on smaller doses of these medications. But diabetics just do not respond the same way as non-diabetics from a weight loss perspective with these medications. When I started this medication, there was no online community for GLP-1s, and there was really no great place to go for information from a patient perspective. When I started to learn more about these medications, I was like, we need a resource where patients can come and they can learn about these life-changing medications. Welcome to On the Pen. I'm Dave Knapp. I'm the host around here, but we've got lots of contributors as well. What started as me just making videos in my car, taking my first shot, very quickly turned into a community of people who came to my YouTube channel to learn more about these medications. My motivation is 100% to be around longer for my kids. I had the unfortunate experience of losing my own father at age 54 of a massive heart attack. And so it's very near and dear to my heart to be able to maintain my health in an appropriate way so that I can do everything in my power to be around for them as long as I possibly can. Love you guys. I'm glad you got to come with me. This is so fun, isn't it? My name is Dave Knapp, and I am living beyond obesity. I am so grateful. One of the messages that I sent to the health.com team after they put that video together and sent it to me is I said, thanks for taking care of my story. I think it's very easy for the media to want to cover the dramatic weight loss stories, you know, the kind of stories where somebody holds up a gigantic pair of pants and they're like, I used to wear these, and everybody goes, wow. It's not been my story, but my story is indicative of tens of thousands of people. And as you know, I've always struggled to share my own journey because it's a struggle. And I'm not really looking for unsolicited advice. I've been getting that since I was about 15 years old. And so I know many of you can relate to that. So I wasn't interested in it then, and I'm certainly not interested in it now. But I've learned that it's important. Sharing the struggles are a very important part of this journey because there's so many people who are struggling and continue to struggle despite these amazing medications. And I'm taking the medications for the win that it has given me. And that's that I can live a pretty normal life as a type 2 diabetic who isn't even 40 yet. Now I have a couple months to go, so I can still say I'm not even 40 yet. I'm just a kid. Getting awfully old. So with that said, you got to meet a little bit of my family, and I'm grateful that they were included in that. And I wanted to share, and my children wanted to share a little bit with you all tonight. So I gave them the chance to come down to Daddy's studio, and they wanted to record a little something for you. So I put together some questions. They were very excited to share with you. Some were more excited than others, as you'll see. But this is sort of my family's gift to you as we wrap up 109 episodes of On the Pen Live. So I hope you enjoy. Name?
Benny.
Benny.
Knapp.
Benny Knapp. Do you want to be right up close to it like that, or do you want to sit back here with me?
I want to look at the screen. My name is Evelyn Knapp. Cooper Knapp.
Nice. Are you excited?
Yes, very.
Okay.
I'm Sawyer Knapp.
What do you think Daddy does on Thursday nights down here?
You just talk about terzepatides and stuff.
Terzepatides?
And mounjaro.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things.
Like what?
Sometimes you tell them about Jesus. You tell them stories sometimes.
What is the name of Daddy's show?
On the Pen. On the Pen. On the Pen. Mounjaro.
What does On the Pen mean?
On the pen means like you're on the pen, like live, like you're live in a video.
Okay, nice.
You're doing podcasts.
Podcasts? Yeah, awesome. Good answer.
It means you're on a pen because mounjaro is a pen.
All right. What do you think Daddy's show is about?
I think it's about kindness. Some people really need the medicine to survive and like use that medicine to live.
AI videos.
AI videos?
It's about telling people about like mounjaro and telling them stories about it and other medications. It's about like getting followers.
About getting followers? What do you think I talk about?
Like GLP-1 stuff.
What's a GLP-1?
Medications.
How many people do you think watch Daddy's show?
It has to be more than 1,000. So I'm gonna go with 1,500,000.
1,500,000?
Yeah.
Solid guess.
A lot, like millions, I bet.
Millions, you bet. Now that Daddy's not going to do a show on Thursdays anymore, what should we do?
You should just do some stuff and clean.
What should I clean?
Clean the crumbs. Clean the crumbs up.
Clean the what crumbs? Your crumbs?
Yeah, all of our crumbs.
Oh. What are the crumbs from?
Like this crumb.
Okay, now that Daddy doesn't have a show on Thursday night anymore, what should we do with our time?
Oh, probably playing baseball or football.
Yeah? Do we do that a lot?
Yeah.
Nice. So just more of that?
Yeah.
Good call.
More practicing, pitching.
Nice.
Like, do some family games.
Do some family games?
Yeah.
Go to our camper.
This is Daddy. Dave Knapp, you call him. And this is...
Stanley the Manly. What are some of the friends that I've made on YouTube? What are some of their names?
Corey and Cena and Sue the Dude, and I know there's lots more. Allie, I remember.
That's a good one. Those are the names that stick out to you.
Yes.
Anything else that you want to say to my followers?
Have a good night.
Make sure you subscribe to him.
I love you.
I love you.
You're such a cheaty.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to say to my followers?
No.
Nothing?
No.
You want to say hi to them?
Yeah.
Okay, say it.
Hi.
Who's your favorite guy in the world?
Big kids or little kids?
Big kids.
Daddy.
Oh, good answer. How are you?
Are you?
Have a huggy. How are you, bud?
Are you?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knapp children. That was a fun thing. They were super excited to get to say something to the followers of On the Pen. The reason that I wanted to do that is because I want you to know a couple of things about me. I obviously don't share a lot about my family. We haven't shared a lot of our kids or anything like that. But they're the reason that I do everything that I do. They're the reason that I started On the Pen. They're the reason that I continue to fight, even though I struggle. Everything I do is about them and my amazing and supporting and beautiful wife, Jenny, who you get to see a little bit in the video too. So when we reorient and we shift and we reevaluate, they're the biggest part of that equation. And so one of the most exciting things that that I look forward to beyond the Thursday night show is just reclaiming Thursday night for the family. As they get older, it's just a little bit harder. There's more and more things. I was looking at the summer. I coach their baseball in the summertime, and it's literally one of my favorite things to do is to be able to coach my kids' baseball team. And I'm thankful to have the health that I do to be able to do that. And so just, reclaiming some family time. Like a big part of this change for me is that what we've been bringing to you with interviews, we brought you some really amazing interviews. I think, did I see Dr. Tina Moore in the chat? Dr. Tina was here just a few weeks ago. We've had Dr. Spencer Nadolsky here several times. Dr. Samin Lee. We've had a lot of doctors on in the past couple of months. And so I'm just afraid that those, hey Tina, how are you? Good to see you. I owe you a message back. I was ingesting all of the things you had to say, and I was like, oh, wow, what do I do with all this? But yeah, we need to, I appreciate you stopping in to say hi. But we work so hard to bring really top tier interviews, and they're just going to continue to get better and better. and I don't want them to get lost in a format that's sort of outlived its usefulness. It was a really good format when we first started, and there was nothing here, and it was quirky and it was fun. Now there's been a shift in the viewership, and a lot of people cycle out. And so there will still be interviews. We're still going to bring you, in fact, we'll probably bring you more interviews. It'll just be more podcast style than, quirky, funny show style. And so all that lives on. It's just the formatting change. And so, yeah, I've seen a lot of comments like, what am I going to do without On the Pen? It's like, we're not going anywhere. It's just this Thursday night show, which, roughly 200 people show up for every Thursday night. So, it's just, we'll continue to have content, and we'll continue to do live from the campers. But like I said, I have a $25,000 goal to raise so we can upgrade the camper. So many things were broken on that camper at the end of the season last year that like it opens up in like 2 weeks. I can't face all the things that are broken on that thing. Stresses me out. But we've also outgrown it. But I'm looking at campers, and it's like, man, if you buy a camper during camper season, they jack the price up a lot on those things. And so anyway, whatever. So if anybody has a $25,000 super chat on deck tonight, that would make my decision-making process a lot easier. Sue the Dude, special shout out. He's been here for almost every single live. Thank you for being here, buddy. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your friendship. I'd like to shout out J-Neb, who has been J-Neb, Deb. You've been stalwart viewers and showing up for the lives here. Cloakster, of course, a huge proponent of what I've been doing here at On the Pen, an early adopter. Corey, an amazing contributor. She had a video for me tonight, and I could not get it to download. But the maintenance minutes have been a wonderful addition to this show. Thank you so much for what you've done, Anna. We love you. Thank you for being here each and every week as well. Folly Beach, you've been around for a long, long time too. DJ Bosnick, you've been around for a long, long time too. Vanessa, thank you. Donna, thank you. You all have been here so stinking much, and I'm so thankful for you. And again, we'll continue to do lives. We will continue to meet together. The community is not going away. It's just the Thursday night thing. And it is hard as we reminisce on just a wonderful, Mike, I see you. Miss Alexis, I see you. Julie, I see you. Thank you so much for being here. Grooney, I see you. Yeah, thank you all. I just appreciate you guys. You've given me a great gift. Laura, I see you. So I guess what we'll do here is we'll open it up for a few questions here before we wrap it up for the night. Of course, we'll do a Lisa. Oh, thank you, Lisa. We'll still be here. The community will still be here. Sabrina, yes, absolutely. I saw Sabrina in here earlier too. Which, by the way, this Friday night, tomorrow night, is it tomorrow that we're supposed to be? If you're here, Sabrina, is it tomorrow we're supposed to be airing that? We did an all-male panel, GLP-1 community panel, and I can't wait to show that to you. I think that's tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow night for that. JD, you're going to have to change your walk day to maybe a different day. Mindy, thank you. Mindy is definitely, we still have to do an interview sometime. She's the reason that I wrote this book. I mean, her story is the reason that I wrote the book. I'm going to be hard not to listen on Thursday nights. Melody, I'll miss all of you. Jennifer said they're too cute. Those kids are awfully cute. Look what Cloakster said. Oh, I hope that Sabrina's in the chat because that's 100% what I said when everybody got there, Cloakster. Any suggestions for us newbies? Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of suggestions out there for newbies. The best advice that I can give you is that there's a lot of people giving advice. And that can almost be worse than nobody giving advice. So the best advice that I have for anybody, and I truly, truly mean this, is you have to find what works for you. When it comes to side effects, the community can be great. But when it comes to whether you should titrate up or whether you should switch medications or whether you should stack a medication, having a good relationship with your doctor is so important. And then from there, take things that you hear on the internet with a grain of salt, because I've heard some crazy stuff. Thank you, Marimer. I appreciate it. Jennifer says, you have a beautiful family, Dave. Glad you'll spend more time with them. Thank you for forming such a wonderful community. Thank you. I appreciate that. Folly Beach said, my children are adorable. I tend to agree with that. Laura, Julie says, many blessings to you and your family, Dave. Enjoy the good times with the fam. You only get one life. Ain't that the truth? And I got to tell you, one of the things that I feel each and every day is, life goes pretty fast. But once you have kids, life steps on the accelerator. It's pedal to the floor. And it is incredible how fast time goes once you have children. The worst advice givers are the people who don't know what they don't know. Yeah, Cloakster, ain't that the truth? Thank you, Kelly says, my children are beautiful. Our children, Jenny and I's. I certainly do enjoy my children. Yavanki. Yavaniki? I'm not sure how to say that name. We'll go with Yvonne. So, yeah, amazing. 109 episodes. That's over 2 years of spending Thursday nights together. And it's been one of the great honors of my life to do this show. When I started it, I can remember the conversation that I had with Jenny. We had done a few lives and it was kind of picking up some steam, and the channel was kind of picking up some steam, and it was kind of fun and exciting. And I had some really good people, that really believed in me. Oh, Mimi with a $14.99 super chat, 0.05% of the camper fund. Thank you, Mimi. You're such a sweetheart. Our interviews are they're in my highlight reel for sure of On the Pen. Deb said she got a copy of my book and gave it to her doctor and asked her to loan it out to each person that she starts on the meds. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. But I remember saying to Jenny, I was like, Jen, I think this is a thing now. And I just want you to know that I'm going to do this every week. She's like, what? YouTube? Like, really? And I was like, 100%. I think this is something. And so, yeah, here we are 109 episodes later. And honestly, I get messages every day, literally from new users of GLP-1 medications all the way up to CEOs of pharmaceutical companies and everything in between. And everybody is like, your platform is so important and so meaningful. Please don't stop what you're doing. And we'll never stop what we're doing. And it's part of the recalibration that's taking place here, is just that over the last, and I kind of warned y'all at the beginning of the year that I could see things changing. A lot of my time is focused, like, I'm going to try to say this in a way that doesn't sound like braggadocious, because it's not my heart at all. But when I first started, and it was like, I got to cover the news. There's news. It's breaking news. And I always wanted to be the first to cover it. And honestly, there's a much bigger narrative going on right now in the world of GLP-1s, and it's accessibility. Accessibility is the number one topic, and it trumps every other conversation in GLP. And that's why we spent so much time at the end of 2024 covering the lawsuits going on between the FDA and the OFA, because access to compounds is a very, very important thing. I've definitely evolved on my thinking of compounds over the last couple of years. And I just got to the point where I was like, I almost felt compelled. Like I've been given a platform here, and I've never taken that lightly. In fact, I think at times I've completely underestimated it. And I mean, even as I'm sitting here, I think, but I'm told so many things, and I just try to be humble and And I have to remind myself that like these people are saying this stuff for a reason. And I believe that this platform and this community has a lot of power. And because accessibility it's paramount, because retatrutide doesn't matter if no one can get it. CagriSema doesn't matter if no one can get it. Tirzepatide and semaglutide mean nothing if people can get it. It means nothing if people can't afford it. It means nothing if the system leaves the people who need it the most and the most vulnerable people on the margins. It means nothing. And so one of the things that I saw shifting at the end of 2024, and one of the things I sort of predicted for 2025 is we're going to get the chance to talk to some very powerful people in this industry. And we have an obligation for every single person who has hit a subscribe button, who has hit a follow, who's signed up for an email alerts, who is following along at On the Pen. We have an obligation to those people to fight. We have an obligation to fight for protecting intellectual property that drives innovation. We have an obligation to protect accessibility when cost becomes as big of a barrier as scarcity. We have an obligation to fight to see our government not only pay lip service to the fact that obesity is a disease, but act like obesity is a disease and act like it is the largest, most impactful disease facing our entire country. It impacts every sector, facet, and sliver of our economy. It impacts every sliver of our healthcare system. There's a cascade of events that happen health-wise to somebody who's living with obesity, and we know that those cascade of events are detrimental on our health, and they're detrimental on our healthcare system. The obesity problem is larger than the system was ever designed to deal with. The system by which we ensure patients get access to medications was never designed for a drug class that was this effective against such a widespread disease. And so I go on this tangent only to say that much of our content has shifted from, or much of my time has shifted from creating content and doing things like a Thursday night show to spending time on the phone with people who have positions of power and authority to change things. And so you have my word that whatever happens with On the Pen, whatever may come of this platform, of this brand, and of me, that we're going to fight. That what you have helped me build here has not been a platform that has been built for my vanity, that has been built for views and likes. It has been built for a purpose, and that purpose is to make sure that when my children are my age, that this problem is a problem of the past. And I look forward with great anticipation to being a part of the story that has yet to be written about the eradication of the disease of obesity and type 2 diabetes. That is what we're about at On the Pen. And I can't say that I knew that on the final episode of this show, when I recorded that first live stream, that I had this level of clarity, but I sure as heck have it now. And I'm ready. And I hope you are too. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon each and every one of you. And may he be gracious to you.